With several changes over the last year, how do the Chase and American Express trifectas stack up today? By looking at the annual fees of each setup, you might think it's a clear answer, but depending on which benefits you find useful, choosing the right combinations and in the right order could mean a difference of thousands of dollars. So in this video, we'll break down each of the setups, why you might choose certain cards. In my case, I have cards from both setups. What are the major changes that could be costing you thousands, and recommendations on which cards to get and when. Starting off, like any trifecta, they come in sets of 3. 1 foundational cards, ensuring you're getting at least a minimum value for all of your spend. 2nd, a card that gives you boosted rewards for a narrower set of use cases. And 3rd, a card that supercharges your entire setup or gives you those amazing perks and benefits. That said, the Chase Trifecta is probably the most recommended trio of cards for good reason. It covers a wide base of spending and is flexible in how you earn these rewards, either through simple cashback or stretching the value through redeeming in certain categories, travel through the portal, or transfer partners. Starting with the foundational card, the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This is the card that will ensure you're getting some value back for all of your spend. More specifically, earning 1.5% back on everything you spend on. That means if you're spending $1,000, you get $15 back. $10,000 and you're getting $150 back. And that's with no annual fees or limits and restrictions. On top of that, you're earning 3% back on dining, 3% on drugstores, and 5% on travel booked through the portal. If you're like me and spend a lot in dining, then this could really bring up the average value you get for every dollar spent. And to give you that initial boost of value, like any of the cards we'll talk about today, there's a welcome bonus here giving you a $200 bonus after spending $500 over the first 3 months. There's also other perks like purchase protection and extended warranty, and trip insurances, as well as partner benefits like DoorDash, Lyft, and Instacart. But the core job of this Freedom Unlimited card is giving you that baseline 1.5% back on everything, because that's something that none of the other 2 cards do. And so building on that foundation, the second card will give you a boost of rewards for certain categories. And in the case of the Chase Freedom Flex, these categories and use cases will differ from quarter to quarter. You see, the Freedom Flex is similar to the Freedom Unlimited, giving you the same welcome bonus and same multipliers, except instead of the 1.5% on everything, you're getting 5% back in quarterly categories up to $1,500 of spend every quarter. On the bright side, these categories are pretty broad. In Q1, including grocery stores, and Q2, including Amazon, hotels, and restaurants. But there's a twist. Because the card already gives you elevated multipliers for some of these categories, these multipliers stack, meaning for the quarter, you'll earn 5% back on Amazon, 5% back when booking for hotels direct, 7% at restaurants for dining, and 9% for hotels booked through the Chase portal. Now that might be a bit confusing, so let's break it down. Originally, you already get 5% back when booking for travel through the Chase portal. This is actually broken down to 1% as the base and 4% as a bonus. Given the quarterly category is also done this way, meaning you get a 4% bonus for hotel bookings, that stacks, giving you 1% plus 4% plus 4%, giving you that 9% back. And the same goes for the other categories too. Honestly, I'll probably only spend on this card when I'm dining out these next few months, because 7% back is pretty insane. You can see how this card can really boost the value you get for your spend if these categories match your spending habits. It's also worth mentioning that this card comes with cell phone protection, up to $800 per claim after a deductible if you ever need it. Alright, we have the foundational card and the boosted rewards cards. Now comes the cards that round out the trifecta. And I say cards because there's 2 options here. Number 1 is a card I've had for 5 to 6 years now, and that's the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. Coming in at $95 in annual fees, it's the cheaper of the 2 options, completing the trifecta at, well, $95. But what does that give you? First, you have a sizable 60,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. And remember how I mentioned that Chase points were one of the most flexible? Well, this welcome welcome bonus is at least worth $600 for cashback, $750 for the travel portal, and over $1,200 on average through transfer partners, all of which more than cover the annual fee multiple times over. We won't go into all the details on how to best use transfer partners for both Chase and American Express. Check out this video for more details, but we'll use 2 cents per point on average for comparisons here. But if that welcome bonus wasn't enough, you'll also get a $50 statement credit every anniversary year for hotel stays booked through their portal. That said, you may not always get the best deals when going through the Chase portal, and any issues that come up means you may have to go through a middle third party instead of direct with the company. So there are some drawbacks here. When it comes to multipliers that are different than on the Freedom cards, you get 2 times on general travel, which is a nice broad category, 3 times on online groceries that can come in handy if that's your preferred shopping style, and 3 times on streaming, which is good but may not actually return you that much unless you're paying for all of those streaming services. But what this card unlocks is the ability to boost the value of all your Chase points across all of your cards, because you're able to combine all the points earned on any of these 3 cards. The $200 welcome bonuses on both the Freedom cards, that's actually 20,000 Chase points. What that means for you is instead of getting that as $200 in cash, you could leverage those points through the Sapphire Preferred and book through the Chase travel portal, giving you 1.25 cents per point, pitting that welcome bonus at $250 in value, or go through transfer partners, giving you the average 2 cents per point, pinning the welcome bonus at $400 in value. You'll also get an upgraded list of travel and purchase protections like primary CDW, pause to read more, and partner benefits that can net you a bit more value too. And that's the Chase setup: a foundational 1.5 times everything card, a boosted 5 times points card for rotating but useful categories, and a card to round it off with boosted earnings in general travel and online groceries, as well as supercharging all of your Chase points for even more value. But to really maximize the value you get in the Chase ecosystem, you may want to consider replacing the Sapphire Preferred with the higher end $550 Chase Sapphire Reserve. And here's why that may be worth it. First, you get a $300 travel credit, which is by far the most flexible credit, given if you travel at least a little bit every year, you can probably max this out, and then bring the effective annual fee of the card down to just $250. Second, better multipliers, giving you 10 times points for hotels and car rentals booked through the portal instead of 5, 3 times on general travel instead of 2, and 10 times on Chase dining. 3, getting even more value for your Chase points when booking through the portal. So instead of 1.25 cents per point on the Sapphire Preferred, you're getting 1.5 cents per point. Taking the example for the Freedom cards bonus, those 20,000 points would be worth $250 on the Sapphire Preferred, or $300 on the Sapphire Reserve when redeemed in this way. 4, better travel and purchase protections with higher limits or added return protection. 5th, higher limits on the partner benefits as well. And lastly, 6, lounge access to over 1,500 lounges around the world with Priority Pass, or access to their own Chase Sapphire network of lounges. But here's where things will be changing in a massive way, which could affect your decision. Historically, the Priority Pass on the Chase Sapphire Reserve was special, in that not only does it give you access to those lounges, it also gave you non-lounge benefits too, like getting credit towards food establishments at airports for you and your guests. For example, here in SeaTac, the Center Terminal, Concourse C, and the North Satellites all only have restaurant options, no lounges, where visiting these could net you and your guests $28 each off of your bill, and not needing to speed walk across the airport just to get to a terminal that has a lounge. Well, unfortunately, that's all ending, because starting July 1st of 2024, these non-lounge benefits will no longer be available with the Sapphire Reserve. I've personally never used this perk, but looking online, it seems like a lot of people are disappointed and are either going to cancel their card or product change it to the cheaper Sapphire Preferred, only Only time will tell how this affects Chase. Now the next change that just happened are changes to their pay yourself back program. Up until recently, you were able to redeem points in certain categories for elevated value. With the Sapphire Preferred, it was 1.25 cents per point towards charities, and with the Sapphire Reserve, it's 1.5 cents per point to charities, or 1.25 cents per point to groceries, gas, and the annual fees. Although most of these have been extended a couple months, groceries, arguably one of the best categories left, is being removed and replaced with wholesale clubs and pet supply stores and services. If you shop at Costco a lot, this could be right up your alley, but I wonder why these will only be in place for the next couple of months. In my opinion, this pay yourself back category has gotten worse and worse over the years, so I do hope they don't continue cutting these going forward. That said, I'd only recommend going through this route if you really need to, because otherwise you should just go with a Chase travel portal giving you 1.5 cents per point, or even more value by going through transfer partners. When I said that Chase really needs to overhaul their cards, especially the Sapphire Reserve, this is not what I meant. These changes are a pure negative, not a positive, and will continue to drive people away from this card. Maybe they plan to refresh this card later this year, but one can only hope. Is this setup still worth the higher $550 in annual fees? If not, would you rather go for the cheaper $95 with the Sapphire Preferred, especially when both cards have the same 60,000 points welcome bonus? Or is it time to check out another powerful trifecta over with American Express? Similarly, it starts with a foundational card, the American Express Blue Business Plus card. I know the first thought you have is, I don't have a business. Well, you may qualify and not even know it. Do you have a side hustle, buy and sell or flip items on eBay or Etsy, cut grass, or have plans on starting a business? You may qualify, which would be good because this card will give you a baseline 2 times points on all of your spend, up to $50,000 per year, along with $15,000 in welcome bonus after spending $3,000 in the first 3 months. Compared to the Freedom Unlimited, you're getting more for your purchases, but slightly less in the welcome bonus. Although there have been higher welcome bonuses here, but at a much higher spend. Another difference is with any of these American Express cards today, you can already transfer these points to any of Amex's transfer partners. No special card needed to unlock this ability, unlike Chase with their Sapphire cards. Now with the foundational card out of the way, next is the boosted rewards card in certain categories, and that's with the American Express Gold card. Instead of rotating categories, the categories here are set, offering 4 times points on restaurants worldwide, 4 times on groceries up to $25K a year, and 3 times on flights booked direct or through their portal. With restaurants and groceries being such common categories, it's why the American Express Gold card is considered a great everyday card. The card also comes with a $60K welcome bonus similar to the Sapphire cards, but for a significant $250 in annual fees. That said, on the same note of being an everyday card, it'll also offer you $10 per month towards dining like Grubhub among others, as well as $10 a month towards Uber Cash, which could mean a yearly value of $240 in credits, bringing the effective annual fee down to just $10. But of course, adjust that to your own spending habits. Now, before we talk about the next card, we gotta talk about some recent changes. It's common for cards to restrict you from getting the welcome bonus if you've had the card before. With Chase, it could be 24 or 48 months, and with American Express, it's once per lifetime. What's new is being restricted from the welcome bonuses if you've had a different card in the past. You see, now there's a proper order of getting American Express cards, because with the gold card, you won't qualify for the welcome bonus if you've had not only the gold card itself, but also the American Express Platinum card and any version of it too. And although not in the trifecta, the same goes for the Amex Green card, where you won't qualify if you've had the gold card or the platinum card. So by not following the proper order, you could be missing out on a lot of points, like I have. Because having the Amex Platinum card, I don't qualify for the bonus on the Amex Gold. and with welcome bonuses ranging from 60 to 90,000 points, that's missing out on values of $1,200 to $1,800. Luckily, I did get the Amex Green before these changes hit the card, which was also 60,000 points at the time, meaning I would have missed out on another $1,200 in value. That's a few $1,000s missed if you don't get the cards in the right order, which is now to go bottom up. Get the Amex Green, although not in the Trifecta if you want, then the Amex Gold, and then complete the Trifecta with the Amex Platinum card. This is the card that causes the Trifecta to be so expensive, coming in at $695 a year in annual fees. But for the right person, this could be a bargain. At least in my situation, it's the card that's given me the most value across its lifetime. First, it has the highest welcome bonus of any of the cards today, with a baseline of 80,000 points, going as high as 150,000 points if you're targeted. At 2 cents per point, that's anywhere from $1,600 to $3,000 in value when used right. That itself will definitely make the card worth it in year 1, but you'll need to find ways to justify the cost year after year if you're going to keep it. And that's where the credits come in. Amex says that you'll get over $1,500 in value from this, which is almost impossible. But if you even use half of that, you already make back the annual fee and more. For me, that's the hotel credit, airline fee credit, Uber Cash, Saks Fifth Avenue, and the Clear credit. I don't use this card for daily spending given the poor multipliers, with 5 times on flights direct or through their portal, 5 times on prepaid hotels also through their portal, and just 1 times on everything else. That said, this card shines when it comes to the more luxurious perks and benefits, like Marriott and Hilton Gold, car rental statuses, both things that the Chase Trifectas do not have, along with pretty similar travel and purchase protections to the Sapphire Reserve. Where this card outshines the Sapphire cards is with the lounges. Now that the Sapphire Reserve card will not be getting non-lounge benefits going forward, it puts it in line with a priority pass on this Amex Platinum, an area that the Sapphire Reserve historically won. On top of that though, Amex gives you access to a whole host of other lounges, including Plaza Premium and their own network of Centurion lounges spanning over 40 locations around the world, having paved the way for these type of credit card lounges, whereas Chase Sapphire lounges are only beginning now. With that said, the golden question, which setup is right for you? If you want simplicity, I'd say go for the Chase Trifecta. You'll have a low cost setup with a broad range of categories you can earn in, and a flexible way to use those rewards, either cashback, travel through the portal, or transfer partners. Chase is also partnered with Hyatt, a popular hotel chain that gives you relatively easy to find and good redemptions. If you find that the coupon book of benefits on the Amex Platinum cards works for you, then the Amex Trifecta can give you a much higher ceiling of value. If you're like me and really interested in this space or wants the best of both worlds, then mix and match. Personally, I have the Chase Freedom Flex and Sapphire cards, which will give me 5 times back on rotating categories whenever it fits my spending habits, and the Sapphire Preferred to give me that 2 times in general travel and to unlock more value for all of my Chase points. I also have other Chase cards earning me points like the Ink Business cards, but do not have the Freedom Unlimited, given I have my Venture X card to cover that catch-all category. On the Amex side, I have the Amex Platinum card, given I can find value year after year, make use of the statuses, and be able to visit the new Centurion lounge in my home airport, SeaTac. Again, it's the card that's given me by far the most value over its lifetime. But speaking of lounges, these aren't the only cards that will give you free access. In fact, there are some absolutely free cards that will give you access as well. So go on and check out this video for the best cards for free lounge access. See you over there.